Thanks for tuning in to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. This is your host, Michaela Falar, where we are here to skyrocket your self-worth, heal your shit, and take your power back. Welcome to the chat. Hey guys, what's up? It's Michaela Falar. Welcome back to Chats with Your Self-Worth BFF. Today we're going to be talking about creating more for yourself. And I'm going to share a little bit of a story about my boyfriend, Bryson, and how I've helped him manifest a completely new situation that is actually putting him on track to create wealth for himself, like his actual purpose here on earth, and like what the best way for him to create wealth for himself in this lifetime is. I did this by asking him questions, also talking to his soul, negotiating with his soul contract to see what is the best way for him to create wealth for himself in this lifetime. Is wealth supposed to be easy or hard for him in this lifetime? And like, how can we negotiate that if needed to be? But like, I didn't need to, I just needed to kind of look into his soul contract and like see what he needed in order to get on the path that he's on now, with the least amount of obstacles, and how he can like kind of pass over those obstacles without actually having to learn the lesson. So learn the lesson, but without actually having to learn the lesson. And I'll get into like what all of this means throughout the episode. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the story and share the story and share what I mean by all of this. Okay. So when I first started dating Bryson, he mentioned to me that he wasn't 100% satisfied in his job. Okay. And I looked into kind of like what was going on and like what was his energy, like his energy was holding, and like kind of how I could slap a band-aid on things for now, until I felt like, well, his higher self felt like he was ready to like move forward and do something different. And so what I did was I looked in and I was like, okay, there's in his energy, in his thought field. And I was like, okay, there's something that you are desiring to do to like get out of the mundane that you feel like your job is right now. Cause he has a 9 to 5, right? It's a desk job, which he is a very active person. So, and he loves to be outside and he loves to be outdoors and he loves to talk to people. He's like such a good people person. Well, him working a 9 to 5, it just like wasn't sitting well with him. And he's been doing this for 3 years. So he's like just not satisfied with it and just looking to like spice up his routine a little bit. Right. And so I looked in on his energy, because I'm not the type of person, I'm not the type of girlfriend where I'm gonna be able to like sit back and let my significant other like be unhappy in what they're doing, especially like, as you guys know, what I do and what I've created for myself. Obviously I'm not gonna like let that happen to somebody who I love. I mean, you get the idea. So with that being said, I look in on his energy and I see that there's something that he's been wanting to do, but he hasn't wanted to invest in it. And immediately I'm like, go and do the thing. And he's like, oh my God, I've been wanting to do jujitsu. Like, he always trips out when I like read his mind. But it's my job. It's what I do. So he's like, oh my God, I've been wanting to do jujitsu. I'm like, okay, cool. So like, that's what you need to go do. Like go like look at different gyms and sign up for the one that feels the best for you. So he did that. He started in January. We've been dating since August, and like this kind of came up in November, December. So like he waited until after the holidays, and then he like signed up for jujitsu, and he's been doing that since January, and he absolutely loves it. And it worked, right? Like it slapped a band-aid on it for a good like solid few months, you know? And then he was just like, you know, he's being around me. He's seeing that I have created my business, and he's like, his wheels are turning. Okay. And I'm like, and we're at dinner. He takes me out on this cute little date to celebrate something that one of my events sold out. Okay. And he wanted to celebrate me. So he takes me on this little date and like it was super cute and I love him. Anyways, so we're on this date and we're sitting at the table and he's just like, talking about how proud he is of me. And like, I'm like, I know I want this for you too. And he's like, I know, I don't know what I would do. And I'm like, okay, well, like, let's think about it together. Okay. Let's brainstorm. And we start talking about, I'm like asking him all the questions, like, what are the things that light you up? What do you love to do? Long story short, I'm like, after like talking to him and getting all the questions, and mind you, I already know the answers to these questions. However, I just want to like get him to come up with the idea on his own, right? So we kind of come up with this idea together that he's been playing baseball his entire life, right? And so I'm like, what if he takes what he knows in baseball and starts like coaching or starts like doing one-on-one hitting sessions on the side of his 9 to 5, right? Starting to do something that actually gets him excited and lights him up and makes him happy, right? Helping people makes him happy. Baseball makes him very happy. He's really good at it. So this just all of these things just kind of aligned. And then we came to the conclusion that like, okay, cool, this is such a great idea, but now we need something to like, he needs to like get his foot in the door somehow, right? Time passes by, whatever, and then he gets this like text or this call, or he finds out in the newspaper or something that the head coach of our local baseball team had gotten let go. And he looks at me, or he tells me, and he's like, I think I'm going to apply. And I'm like, absolutely, you should apply. Like, this is exactly what we've been talking about, what I've been manifesting. Like, yes, this is your opportunity. This is the universe saying, like, here you go. So he's like really nervous. He doesn't have coaching experience. However, he has been in baseball, like I said, his entire life, all the way up through college, went to college on a baseball scholarship. And he was like, and he's just very knowledgeable and like great at the game and also really good at like helping others. So we basically took all of that and I'm like, just go apply. I helped him like spruce up his, um, you know, resume and all the things. And he sent it in and then they called him back and they wanted to interview him. They interviewed him. They told him, we'll call you in a couple weeks, let you know if, you've got the position or not. And sure as shit, they called him back in a couple of weeks and they gave him this position. So he is just so freaking excited. Also nervous, which is completely fucking normal. Like when you do things that are completely outside of your comfort zone, you're going to be nervous, right? And this is a huge commitment. So, yeah, he is nervous, but he also is extremely excited and he's going to follow through with this and see if this is like the right fit for him. Okay. Right now, it totally is. It's getting him outside of his comfort zone. He's going to learn a lot. He's going to grow. And this gets his foot in the door as far as coaching goes so that he can start doing one-on-one hitting lessons on the side of this. So who knows where this is going to go? But I have a pretty good idea and I'm very, very excited. What I picture for him, and I've talked to him about this too. And I also asked him if I could share the story and he said yes. So that's why I'm sharing it. But what I picture for him is going through this and doing hitting lessons on the side here and there, and then eventually like saving up enough money to like put some batting cages in his backyard, and then saving up enough money from that, and putting like building his own studio, building his own gym essentially, where he's got like one section with weights and one section with batting cages. And it's kind of like, whole like 3-in-1 situation. And he opens that up and he could do summer camps and all of these ideas of his started flowing in. And I'm like, oh, I love this so much for you. And whenever he talks about it, he lights up, right? So I can just totally see this happening for him. And I cannot wait to watch it manifest into our physical reality because both of us are on the same page as far as like speaking it into existence, which is part of why I'm doing this podcast. So with that being said, moral of the story here, why I'm sharing this with you guys is because if you are not satisfied with like your work situation, there are there is an abundance of opportunity around you. It's just you've got to like shift your perspective and open up your mind to all the possibilities. Once you start to like question and like open your eyes to the possibilities and what's around and start opening your ears, because the whole time this was happening before he got the coaching job, I was like, just keep talking to people, just keep telling people what you want to do. Just keep your mind open, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. And sure as shit, like the opportunities started to flow in, right? So that is my advice to you guys. Like, think about what it is that lights you up and write them all down. And after you've written them all down, ask yourself, okay, how can I make this, like, turn this into something lucrative, right? How can I make money doing this? Okay. So, with that question being asked, there's also the fact that, as we all know here on this podcast, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, right? We all have a soul contract that literally has everything that is happening, that is going to happen, that has happened in our soul contract in our life. That's where it's at. It's all in our soul contract, our trauma, our lessons that we have to learn. What is the best way for us to create wealth for ourselves in this lifetime? All the things, right? While I've looked into Bryson's soul contract, and he is very much so in alignment by like shifting out of what he's doing now to like what he's about to be doing. Very, very much so in alignment. There's a way that you can look into each person's soul contract, figure out what the best way for them to create wealth for themselves is, and also what lessons that they're meant to learn. Like, let's say I look into your soul contract and it says that creating wealth is supposed to be hard for you, right? In this lifetime. That's like a part of your soul contract. It's just meant to be hard for you. And that is a lesson that you were learning. Maybe it was a karmic debt that you must pay, but I don't want you to freak out because there's a way around it. See, we can negotiate with our soul. So we can literally look into our soul contract and negotiate and ask your soul, okay, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn from my finances being hard, right? And then whatever you get the download, whatever it says, you're like, okay, cool. So how can I learn that lesson without actually learning the lesson? And so, in order to do this, obviously, you have to have the right tools. I'm going to be teaching this inside of Intuitive as Fuck, the mastermind. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the show notes below so that you can get all the details inside of Intuitive as Fuck. I'm also going to be teaching you how to fully embody and trust your intuition, how to embody your higher self, how to trust your intuition, give you like an easy way. We're going to start like very simple. Start with like how to feel out your yes and no answers, how to get your intuitive answers down to an actual science. Then we're also going to be learning how to do full blown intuitive readings on ourselves on others. So if you desire to like read others, then this mastermind is 100% for you. But also if you just desire to like learn how to trust yourself, learn how to read your own intuition and like know what answers are best for you, then this mastermind will be extremely helpful and beneficial for you as well, because we will be doing that. We are also going to be learning how to cleanse and clear and recover our energy from, like, we all know that everyone is made up of energy. We are constantly like exchanging energy from person to person, thing to thing. And so it's very important to, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, whenever, to cleanse and clear and protect yourself and your energy. There are also dark forces, right? Like there's dark energy, just like there's light energy, there's dark energy, because the world has to be in balance. It's universal law of polarity. Everything has to be in balance. With those dark energy, those dark forces, when you are light, which if you're listening to this podcast, you are probably light, right? If you're not, then that's a whole other situation. But I believe that you are. And if you are light, then you are more susceptible to those dark energies and those dark forces latching onto you, because that's the only way that they stay alive, right? But I don't want you to freak out, because they are not as strong as us. They are not as strong as light beings. It's very easy to flick them off and to recover and recharge and protect your energy. So I will be going over how to do that inside of intuitive as fuck the mastermind as well. And also, just so you know, a little PSA, if you are not cleansing and clearing and recharging and protecting your energy, 97% of your thoughts are not even your own on a daily basis, which is absolutely crazy to think about. We're also going to be learning the different physical and energetic tools for yourself and for others to work through whatever is blocking yourself or the other person from achieving or obtaining whatever it is that you're desiring to manifest into your physical reality. We're also going to be talking about reflections. What are they? How do we shift them? How to stay young and healthy by knowing this information. I'm also going to be teaching the difference between a human want and a soul desire, how to understand them both so that you can give them both what they desire, what they actually desire on a soul level. We're also going to be learning how to talk to souls who have crossed over. And it's such a gift to be able to help others find comfort and get clarity from their loved ones. We're going to be teaching how to read minds. I know it's like your childhood dreams just came true. How to pull from the Akashic records. And the Akashic records are just like where all of the information. Think of it as like a giant iCloud of information, right? It's just everything you could possibly know, along with like all of your past lives. So we'll read your past lives. We'll read what you were really good at in your past lives. That way, whatever you mastered in a past life, you can actually pull and then master again in this life. And it'll come like riding a bike, right? It'll be really easy to you for you to learn that. And then, like I said, soul contract and negotiations. Okay. So if intuitive as fuck the mastermind sounds like something that you are interested in joining, I only have 7 spots left as of right now. We start July 17th. I cannot freaking wait. I'm so excited. I really hope to see you there. Stay tuned to see what happens with Bryson and his exciting new journey and new path towards entrepreneurship, actually doing things that light him up and make him excited and all the things. Okay. And also, with that being said, like, I hope that you are finding something that lights you up and makes you excited. And if you're interested in negotiating with your soul contract or looking in on your soul contract and seeing what it is that is best for you to do to create wealth for yourself, then join intuitive as fuck. Another little riff about abundance and like wanting to create more for your life, right? I encourage you to start to focus on all the things in life that you already have to be grateful for, right? As opposed to focusing on the scarcity and lack. Focus on everything that you have in your life. If you have a roof over your head, food in your fridge, a place to sleep at night, people who love you and people who you love, you are already so freaking blessed and honestly better off than most of the people in the world. So remember that and get grateful. If you're desiring to attract more abundance in your life, honestly, just focus on all the abundance that you already have in your life. I'm abundant in air. I'm abundant in friends. I'm abundant in love. I'm abundant in food in my fridge. I'm abundant with all this like equipment and the computer I'm staring at, right? Like I'm abundant because I was able to buy a coffee yesterday morning. I was able to go grocery shopping today. Like all the things, right? That we are so abundant in, but a lot of us, most of us take those little things for granted because we just think that they're like average or like what's typical. But the reality is, like, if you're desiring to create a life for yourself that isn't typical, then you have to focus on what you have and be grateful for every single little thing. That way you just do nothing but attract more and more and more abundance, more and more things to be grateful for. Okay. I hope that this helped. I hope this inspires you to create something for yourself that lights you up, or go chase after. Maybe it is a 9 to 5, or just maybe it is get a raise at your job, whatever it may be. But like, do whatever it is that lights you up, makes you excited. Um, I encourage you to do something that makes you happy because we are meant to be happy. Okay. That is all I have for you today. Make sure you thumbs up and like and subscribe if you liked this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not, and you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please do me a favor and leave a rating and review. It would mean so, so much to me. It helps my podcast get into the ears of other listeners who need what I'm sharing. All right, that's all I got for you today. Again, I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an incredible week. Happy Tuesday. And as always, we will chat soon.